In today's session, we're going to flip the script. We are going to flip the script on any problems, challenges, pain that you are experiencing. Part of manifestation mastery is learning how to take a pain, problem, challenge, setback, and flip it. To take something that's seemingly working against you and turn it into something that's working for you. So a lot of the game of manifestation, of business, and of wealth creation is a game of not always getting what you want, right? Not always hitting the goals, not always hitting the targets, setbacks, failures, challenges, problems. And how we navigate through those problems and challenges is everything. And there is a very powerful process to help you with that. Now, the challenge is getting your mind on board. This is why I love working with the soul, the consciousness of the soul, the consciousness of your heart, and the consciousness of your body's wisdom. Essentially, when you feel safe and secure and supported, that wisdom that comes from that place, and to let that part of you lead you and guide you and navigate through this process. Now, what I know is that when you're in a trigger, a challenge, a setback, it can be challenging to find clarity. Generally, we go into confusion, we go into kind of an inner chaos. It can feel very turbulent. We can have big emotional reactions, big mental reactions, have physiological reactions. And all of those reactions to a challenge or problem or setback can create a lack of clarity and lack of connection. So it can be also challenging to connect to that heart, body, soul, and mind wisdom. And this is why this is a practice, and this is why it's a discipline, and it's a process to remember to come back to over and over again. So I would like to take you through the step-by-step process now on how to flip the script on any pain, problem, or challenges happening in your business, in your finances, in your personal life. And I know how really challenging this can be, especially when you're putting yourself out there. I remember, putting a post out, working really hard, overcoming my fears, making a video, posting it, to not get any comments or very few views, right? Putting an offer out there, like building an offer, creating an offer, putting it out there, to have, very little signups or even no signups sometimes. I've, gearing up to a sales call, hoping that this is going to be the moment where you land that new client, to not land the sale, to not get the sale. Or making an investment, putting like money into something, hoping or assuming that that investment is going to give you a return on that investment in a particular way. And maybe you don't make the money that you hoped, right? These are all things that I've experienced in my business and growing my business. And I remember at different stages of some of these examples, having real reactions to that. Feeling very emotional about some of those things, feeling devastated sometimes, because I thought I'd done the thing, I'd overcome, I'd done a lot to just even be able to do those steps. And then what seemed like a setback, or it didn't work, or it's a failure. And over the years, I've had to move through a lot of different sort of emotional reactions to things not working, and then how I react and respond to that. So it's changed, it's grown and evolved and changed over many years. I've got, much more resilient and aligned and connected. But in the beginning of this journey, I was very wobbly. And so what would happen to me is, if I had a setback, my whole system would shut down. I'd just freeze and flight. And what that meant is it would take a lot of energy to pull me off the floor again. I just couldn't take action. And I would think, what is the point? I can't do this. Or this isn't working, this didn't work. Therefore, it's complete and utter disaster, and I might as well quit now. So I'm wondering if you've ever had that experience. And I would catastrophize. So I don't know if you've ever done that, but my little self would catastrophize. It's all doomed. It's all, there's no hope. And it would just take me down. And depending on what it was, it could be days, it could be weeks, some things were months, that like if I got really triggered by a certain challenge, I just couldn't take action. That was what happened for me. So I really understand. I'm in this game each and every day, facing obstacles and challenges, riding the waves. And there is this incredible process that I've just done over and over and over again that works, that will shift and change in time if you give yourself enough love and patience through this process. I would like you to think about something that maybe hasn't worked or isn't working, a particular problem that you have, a challenge that you're dealing with in your business or your work, a challenge that you're dealing with in your finances, maybe a challenge in some area of your personal life, and bring that into this conversation. I want to bring the pain, bring the problem, bring the challenge, and bring it into this session today. Because what we want to do is look at it, face it, meet it, and help you move forward. So you don't do what I did, which is get stuck and shut down and not move forward for so long. I was really in my own way, in quite a serious way, for a long time. So let's bring maybe one challenge, one pain, one problem you're currently experiencing, and bring that into the session today. And we'll just let it sit here for a minute. We're just acknowledging it. We're letting it be here. Here it is. Okay. Welcome. Welcome, problem. Welcome, pain. And I like to welcome these parts almost like they have their own consciousness, because they do on a level, and to receive them with love. Because what we want to do is create a safe space to just allow it to be here, to help you to be present with the problem and to sit with it, to acknowledge it. Is it actually a very powerful first step? Because most human beings, we like to avoid pain, right? Run away from it, distract from it. And yet, unfortunately, those patterns, which are understandable, will keep you stuck or keep you spinning. And in order to move through a problem, you need to face it. So that's step one. Let's bring it into the room and just breathe with it. Just breathe with it. Breathe with it. Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay. So essentially, when we're on the manifesting journey, when you're trying to consciously create something that you want, there's a desired outcome that you want. And that could come from an ego want or desire. But ideally, if you've been working with me, following me, we are connecting to the soul aligned want, desire, heart aligned want, desire, body aligned want and desire, so that you're in alignment with what you actually want. And when you hold the line for what you want, that's a very powerful thing. Just even getting clear on what you want, identifying what you want, and then focusing on what you want is a huge step for most people. So acknowledging you for even that, even getting clear on that first step. But the reality of the creation game, the reality of the manifestation journey, is that want or desire, that putting the stake in the ground, is a focus point for like where you're going and who you are becoming. And you may be, fumbling your way through towards your fortune. I call fumble into your fortune, right? Which means that you are not always going to instantly manifest exactly what you want. Now, sometimes people do, and sometimes you can't. And so we always hold that possibility, because there's some things that are ready. There's some things that you're ready and you've just been kind of avoiding. So we always hold the space for manifesting what you want right here, right now, instant manifestation. And there is a space and place where that can happen. But for a lot of people, we have to clear out a lot of crap that's in the way of you actually being able to receive and actually be able to manifest. And sometimes there's certain skills that are missing. There's things you need to learn. There's holes, there's gaps that you're not aware of yet. That when you're focusing on what you want, you realize, there's some missing pieces. So you've got to play the long game with manifesting what you want, but also be open for things happening faster than you can imagine. So this is an interesting challenge in itself, as we're holding the unknown, right? We're holding the space for the unknown, because We don't know if it's happening now. We don't know if it's happening 5 years from now, right? And unless you've got a really clear step-by-step strategy in place. Because we don't know what we don't know. And when you're getting clear on what you want, that saying, be careful what you wish for, because actually what happens is when you get clear on what you want, everything that's in the way of that will come up and be revealed to you, or what's missing, the gaps. And this is particularly in business. You might have a desired outcome in business, but that you might realize there's a bunch of missing pieces. There's systems that are missing. There's skills that are missing. There's maybe team support that's missing. And we got to kind of hold space as you fill those gaps to actually manifest the desired outcome, for example. And we start realizing, that maybe there's some issues, like, or it could be in a relationship. There's a bunch of things that need to be addressed before you can manifest that dream relationship, for example. So as you're going for gold, you're putting yourself out there, you're claiming what you want. This is a very, vulnerable process, and also a very powerful process. But the important thing is to know is that just because you've gotten clear on what you want doesn't mean you're going to get it exactly in the way that you want. And so here is the game, right? Which is about really holding yourself in the not having, and holding the line, not abandoning yourself, not abandoning what you want in the unknown of it. This is really challenging for a part of our brain. Yeah, it's not an easy thing, but this is the practice and this is the game. So what I want to focus on particularly today is how to hold yourself through the not having. So when you've gone for something, you put yourself out there, you're taking aligned action, you're being really brave, and you don't get the result that you want, at least not yet. You don't get what you want. You don't get your needs met. And working with that, because that's a lot of this game. That is a lot of this game. And what I would like to do is first help you to identify what happens for you when this happens. You've got clear on what you want. You've connected, you've embodied, maybe you've relaxed, released, embodied, received. You've been going through the step-by-step process. And then you took that brave, bold, aligned action. You did all this work to get yourself ready, and you do it. And then, right? You haven't hit it, or you don't get the result, or the opposite of what you want happens, or there's kickback, right? Essentially, it's the opposite of what you wanted to manifest has manifested. Have you ever had that experience? Right? So this is really the first step. I want you to start to become aware of how you react and respond when your needs aren't met, when you don't manifest what you want. This is a really important thing. So when you don't manifest what you want, or you manifest the opposite of what you actually want, how do you react? How do you respond? What comes up for you? This is really important to start to become aware of how you react and respond to the opposite of what you want happening, or when your needs aren't met. And there's 3 places I'd like you to look at. So the first is what happens on the level of the mind. So your thoughts. What do you think? What stories do you tell yourself? So I'd like you to write that down. How do you react on the level of the mind? Thoughts, stories, beliefs. What does the mind tell you? And those stories, I tell you what, they don't feel like stories. They feel like the absolute truth. They feel like, well, this is the truth, because look, all the data and evidence shows. But we want to start becoming hypervigilant to how you react and respond. How do you feel? What emotions come up for you? So some of you will be more aware of like what's going on in the mind levels. For some of you, it might be very emotional. What emotions come up? Sadness, anger, frustration, fear, shame, guilt, grief. What emotions come up for you when you don't get what you want? Despair. Becoming aware of your emotional reactions and your emotional responses. And then your physiological response. How does your body react? Your nervous system. What happens in your system? So do you fight? Do you flight? Do you freeze? Do you go into people pleasing, the fawn? Fall asleep, the flop? How do you react physiologically? What happens to your body? And this is a really important thing to become aware of. So we have what's going on in the mind, the thoughts, the beliefs, the stories we want to identify, the emotions that come up, and the physiological response that comes up through the body when you don't manifest what you want and when your needs aren't met. And this is really important part to manifestation mastery, is essentially how you react to things not going your way and things not working out. So once you've identified that, and you might be going on right here, right now, right? What's happening? And there, in particular in the game of business or being a human being in life, there's going to be something, especially if you're, putting yourself out there, you're taking risks, you're expanding beyond your comfort zone. It can be quite triggering and challenging as you grow and evolve. So this is a huge piece. So what we want to do is just breathe with and acknowledge what's coming up. So this is the next step, is after you've identified how am I reacting, how am I responding to this situation, we want to breathe with it and acknowledge it. Like, it's okay. I've learned this as a healer to hold space for what's here. We see it, we hear it, we witness it, we acknowledge it. Just allow it to be here for a minute. We don't want to let these emotions and stories and reactions lead or take you down too many rabbit holes for too long, but we breathe and acknowledge, I'm feeling this. The stories I'm telling myself is this. The physiological response I'm having is this. And we just witness, right? Be the wealthy witness to what's coming up. And this creates space to allow the reactions to move through you. Because what we want to do with this part is, as quickly as possible, you can't force it, but as quickly as possible, bring you back into alignment again, out of reaction into aligned action. But you can't force that, but you can lead it, right? You can lead it. And this really is part of the mastery, is how you hold yourself through setbacks, through failures, and how quickly you can bounce back. And that's part of this building strength and resilience with this path, is actually your bounce back time. It's not that you will get triggered and challenged. It's just how quickly you recover from it. What we want to do next is go and meet the part of yourself that is having this reaction. So I call this the unmet, unheld, unloved parts. This is where we start going even deeper. And it is really powerful, this space and place. And I love this part of you. I think this part of you is so lovable, so beautiful. But this part of you has not been in the game of life, right? The unmet, unloved, unheld parts that are often hiding. I call them buried treasure. They're usually hiding in shame, hiding in pain, hiding in fear. There are aspects of the self that aren't fully integrated into your life, or they're not fully integrated in your business. And part of manifestation, right, part of manifesting what you want, is actually, the inner game is manifesting parts of yourself into life that actually know how to create your desired outcome. So one of the gifts, it doesn't feel like a gift, I know, in not manifesting what you want and not getting the result, and actually what we could call failure or setbacks or challenges, it actually reveals more of yourself to yourself. It reveals a lot of information that actually you wouldn't find if you got the result. So it's really, really interesting. Not always fun. I will acknowledge that. But in the not getting what you want, there's a lot of information. There's a lot of gold if you're willing to go mining for it. And this is what I've learned to do over and over and over again with every kind of problem: business problem, financial problem, health problem, relationship problem, you name it, energy problem. Is all a surface level symptom of a deeper thing going on inside your inner game. We got to go mining for gold. So what we want to do is go meet the part of you that is upset, right? We've acknowledged the feelings, the stories, we've acknowledged the physiological response, but this is an aspect of you, right? And what we want to do is, from this point, acknowledge and get to know what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what they're saying, how they're reacting, this part of you. And then what we want to do is a process I call flip the script. So we want to help then use this moment to alchemize the situation. So what we tend to do as human beings is we tend to project outward onto others or onto other things. So we say, when I have that money, then I will feel, or then I will be. Or when I have that relationship, then I will feel, then I will be. When I've manifested X, Y, Z, then I will feel, then I will be. So we put the power into the external result or the external thing or another human being. But actually, that is giving your power away to the external. And it's not how you manifest. It's a bit confusing for our poor little minds, because that's how we know who we are in the world, through projection and through connection. But what can happen is we can project a lot of false ideas, false beliefs, false stories that are actually tied up in old wounding and old trauma and what I would say misaligned information. So what we want to do is pull back everywhere that you are unconsciously mostly projecting and giving your power away, and bring the power back to shift within to create without. Now, I will say that our minds find this a little bit challenging. So it needs to be held. It needs to be facilitated. It needs support. But this is how we flip the script. Okay. So we've identified thoughts, feelings, and physiological responses in the not having. And now we're going to go in. We're going to in a little bit deeper. So how we flip the script on this is tap into what is the feeling or the state of being that you want to get from manifesting that external result. So maybe it's a certain amount of money in your business, a certain amount of clients, next level team support, certain amount of money in your bank account, relationship, health, whatever it is. What is the feeling that you want to feel when that result has landed? What is the state of being that you want that external result to give you? How do you want to be feeling? What's the state of being? So when you have manifested your desired result, what is that? So let's tap into that for a minute. What is that state of being? Because what we tend to do is hyperfixate on the external, hoping that that external is going to give us the thing. And then when it doesn't give us the thing, we're very deeply upset. And we flip the script by getting clear on what is the feeling that I'm hoping that thing is going to give me, or that state of being I get to feel or be when I've got that end result. And then how do I be it now? How do I be it now? And you can manifest a feeling and a state of being relatively quickly. So what is the feeling or the state of being that this thing is going to get you? Thing is going to give you. And we want to be that now. Embody that now before the result is there. So that could be a sense of safety or security, feeling at peace, feeling calm, feeling connected, feeling joyful, free, loved. And we pull the power back by understanding that you can be that now. You can choose to be that now. That heart, body, soul aligned version, that empowered adult version can choose to be that now. And that is a choice. And that is actually something that you are actually in control of. It doesn't always seem like that, but you are. And from that place, we be it now. We step into what I call the vibrational frequency of what you want, and then hold the line. So I like this open palm practice where you hold it and hold the line and hold the line and hold it before the external result has manifested. So who do you need to be? Who do you need to become? What is that state of being? And be it now. Now, the power of this is not just so you get to feel more relaxed and calm and better. Is from the being it now, you actually start to create a vortex of receiving where you can draw energy and things towards you, being like a magnetizing vortex. When you're in a reactive state, mentally, emotionally, physiologically, you actually block out the very thing that you want or push it away or hide from it, playing hide and seek. When you are being that state of being now, you open, you become expansive, you become receptive. There's more spaciousness around you. When we're reactive, we become very small, very controlled, very tight, and we shut down doors to receiving. When you're in that state of being, you open and blossom and expand and become. And it creates this vortex of receiving. It's magnetizing towards you. And simply your nervous system is regulated again. So you're back into connection, back into safety and security, which helps you to lean into life and be able to take action again on a very practical level. So the step-by-step process helps you with this, where you connect back into what you want, right? You relax into the present, the power of the present. You release, let go of the stories, emotions, physiological reactions. You want to release and regulate again. Embody who you must become to manifest what you want. Embody that state of being now as if it's already here, but you bring it right down into your body and then open up to receive, because that's what happens naturally. You start opening up to receive. You can see, feel, imagine, know the very thing that you want is coming. Might not be here yet, but it's come. And then from there, deeply listening to your aligned action. What action do you need to take? That heart, body, soul aligned action. And it gets you back into the game again, moving forward. And you keep holding the line, holding the line, holding the line. And there's something very, very powerful about holding that line. This is what I can see and feel energetically. Like this is where the magic of manifestation and the energetics of the universal wisdom can work through you from this place. Yes, you can create from force and hustle and drive, and that's fine. You can create results from that place, but there's also this very, very powerful place. It's all the unseen and unknown ways that the universe, life, wants to bring things to you. And that small part that's very reactive needs to be held as well. That part needs to feel safe and secure and supported so that you can blossom and open. So that's also what's happening at the same time. We're holding the small self with the scared part, so we can open back into life again. Co-create with the universe. Co-create with life. Grow and expand, blossom and become. So this holding the line and deeply listening and taking action from that place, soul aligned, heart aligned, body aligned action rather than reactive action, is a discipline, because we don't know how long it's going to take to manifest what you want. So can you hold the line day in, day out? Can you keep holding the line in the not having? Hold the line in setbacks and failures. Hold the line through the ups and the downs. And be the anchor, what you want. So this is the practice, right? This is the practice. We come back to it over and over again. Some days will be easier than other days. This is what we want to come back to. And my recommendation is every day, throughout the day. It doesn't need to take a lot of time. So what I'd like to do with you now is take you through a little guided activation to support you with this. I've been talking you through it, bringing through energy as I'm talking. Hope you've been taking notes, and I'd really love to know what's landing for you. And now I'd like to go and take you through a guided process to help you with this. So what I'd like you to do is to close your eyes if you haven't already. And we're going to do this relatively quickly. But you can support yourself to flip the script. Hold yourself through your reactions when you don't manifest what you want, when your needs aren't met. We're going to do this now. I'd like you to have some pen and paper with you. If you don't already, get yourself nice and comfortable. And let's dive in a little bit deeper. Beautiful. So take some beautiful deep breaths into your body. We're relaxing into the present moment and releasing with the exhale. Dropping you down and in, calling you present right here, right now. And let's just take a minute to scan where you are in the not having, the not manifesting what it is that you want. What are the stories or the thoughts that are going through your head? And that can create sometimes a rumination where you're ruminating about things or looping about things, hyperfixating on things. So know that when that's happening, you're in a reaction. It's witnessing what your mind is doing, what the thoughts are thinking, where you're focusing that mental energy. Witnessing. We're just breathing and witnessing. You might be thinking about an external thing, or you might be ruminating about yourself. And I'd like you to breathe even deeper and witness how you're feeling. What are the emotions that are here that you're aware of? Feeling the feelings or naming the feelings. And witness what's happening through your body. How is your body reacting and responding? Be frozen, be on that flight mode, wanting to run, fight mode. What's happening through your body? How are you reacting through your body, your nervous system? Okay, just witnessing and scanning. And we're just breathing to receive where you are right here, right now. Not even trying to change anything, just witnessing what's happening to bring your awareness to how you're reacting and responding. It's often the case that we're not always aware of what's happening on a deeper level, especially when your mind's going. It can be very distracting. So we want to just check, what's happening through my body? Okay. And breathe and receive, and flooding yourself with the deepest love and the deepest care. So we acknowledge that, and this is partly what we are going to be holding space to release, so you can come back into regulation again, back into alignment. And now let's tap into what is the feeling that you want to feel when you have manifested what you want. What is the feeling that you want to feel, that you're hoping that external manifestation is going to bring you? What is the state of being that you're going to be in, or that you hope you're going to be in when you've manifested your desired outcome? And we want to start to be that now. What is the feeling? What is that state of being? And welcoming it in now. I'm inviting you to become the vibrational frequency of your desired outcome now. You're embodying it, becoming it, feeling it, experiencing it as if it's here now. You're tapping into the energetic vibration, the vortex, the state of being, the feeling that this will bring you, and being it now. And from here, you come into alignment, that heart, body, soul, earth alignment. You become aligned with who you are and what you want, remembering that you are the source of creation. You are the power source for creation, for co-creating between your body, between the universe, between life, coming back into your center. So anywhere you've been consciously or unconsciously giving your power away and leaking your energy, we draw it back in. Breathe your energy back into the center point. And yes, you're still in connection and co-creation with others, but tapping into that power center source that lives deep inside of you and listening, deeply listening. So from this place of alignment, what action are you being guided to take? What are you being guided to do? And most importantly, what are you being guided not to do? Because that reactive action may want to do things that your heart, body, soul aligned action is saying no to. That's not in alignment. But this is part of the mastery, deeply listening. What is the aligned action here? Beautiful. Taking some deep breaths here and holding this line. Holding the line. Holding space for who you are and what you want by being it now. Relaxing. Releasing the old stories, emotions, reactions that actually push away what you want. Embodying, becoming it now, and then opening up to receive. Opening up to receive. All the spaces and places where what you want can come in. And deeply listening to that aligned action. Breathe into that space for a few moments. I want to wrap that energy, that vortex, around the part of you, the parts of you that don't know how to receive yet. Call this rewire to receive. The parts of you within that actually don't know how to receive. So we're waking up the inner part, starting to be it now, embody it now, train yourself into this state now, so that you are able to open up to receive and allow in what it is that you require and desire. And please be patient with yourself as you rewire to receive. Beautiful. And keep holding this line. Beautiful. So taking a moment to write down any insights, any awarenesses, any guidance that's come through. What does that wise, wealthy self say? Coming around slowly in your own time when you're ready. Beautiful. So slowly coming around, I would love to hear, I'd love you to share what has come through for you in today's session and activation. What have you noticed about yourself when you're out of alignment or in a reaction against what's happening versus who you are when you've already manifested what you want? That feeling, that state of being, that consciousness, being that now, holding that line. There is a difference, and it does need leadership to keep you in the vortex, to keep you in that space, holding the line. Your reaction will happen on default. It won't take much energy. It will be happening and maybe consuming you and taking you over. And so the practice and the discipline is to come out of that. When you notice yourself going into a reaction, the practice is to come back into alignment, into regulation again. Out of the stories, balanced emotions, and calm, safe, and secure in the body. And we keep rinsing and repeating, practicing every day. Thank you so much. And I look forward to hearing your shares.